Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. If you're new, my name's Sarah. Welcome. So here on my counter, you can see I have got some chopped up bell pepper, chopped up onion, and I'm getting ready to chop up a bunch of garlic. If you did not see my last video, we had a bit of a disaster, and my freezer, my upright freezer that we keep on our back porch, it had something shift inside of it and it popped the door open. And so I am sort of in a mad scramble to preserve things that are still really cold and partially frozen, and things that we really just can't refreeze. So two of the things in that freezer were nice big bags of peaches that I had bought at the local orchard and blanched and peeled and sliced, and so I really don't want those to go completely to waste. So we're going to turn that into peach barbecue sauce. This is a new recipe to me, and I'm very excited to try it. It was on my list of things I wanted to make this year, and I thought maybe I would eventually get around to it with some of my frozen peaches. So just a little bit sooner than I thought I would. But all of this is going to go into that barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to finish getting my garlic chopped up fine here, and then we'll start adding things to our pot. So now that I've got the garlic all chopped up, we can get the stuff into our pot. The recipe called for 1 red bell pepper. You can see here I have red and orange. We had to buy bell peppers today because I don't have any ripe red peppers in my garden at the moment. They're all green, but it was cheaper to buy the pack that had multicolors in it. So it'll be fine to have that orange pepper in there. But it called for 1 pepper. Since we're doubling the recipe, I have 2. It also called for a cup of finely chopped onion and 3 tablespoons of garlic. Here you can see my thawing peaches. They are still nice and cold. So this is kind of sad, but we're going to make lemonade from lemons here and make sure these don't go to waste. So the next thing we need to add is it calls for 1 1/4 cup honey. It turns out I only have about 1 1/2 cups. All right, you guys, my mom just came in and was talking to me, and so it might have gotten a little messed up on my filming. So I'm going to fill you in on what I did. I just added about 1.5 cups of honey to our pot. The recipe for a single batch called for 1.25 cups. So I need 2.5 cups, but I don't actually have enough honey for that. So I'm just going to substitute that extra cup with some sugar. And I think that's going to work just fine. Our recipe also calls for 3/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. So I need 1 1/2 since I'm doubling this. This is going to be a big old pot of barbecue sauce. I hope we like it. That would be a bummer if we don't, huh? We need hot pepper flakes. It calls for 2 teaspoons. So again, I'm doubling. So we need 4. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon measure. So I'm actually going to go a little bit lighter because these are new and they are very, very hot to my taste. We need Worcestershire sauce. Or I know if you're from the UK, you call it Worcester. So I'm going to eyeball this. It calls for a tablespoon. So we need 2. And then we need 4 teaspoons of dry mustard. And I know I have some. I saw it in here the other day. There we go. The last thing we need to add here is 4 teaspoons of salt. So I want to get this all mixed up, and then we're going to bring it to a boil and let it simmer. It says that it should take about 25 minutes for it to get to kind of a thinner barbecue sauce consistency. And it talks about using an immersion blender if you want to break the peaches up some. So I may do that. We'll just see how this all goes. In fact, I'm double checking here. In fact, I'm pretty sure we will use the immersion blender because I have peach slices and this called for finely chopped peaches. So we'll get them broken up some. But let me bring you over and show you. It's really pretty. Doesn't it look nice? I thought I'd show you what our barbecue sauce looks like after the simmering. It says it's supposed to be about the thickness of a commercial barbecue sauce. It's a little bit thinner than that, I think, currently, but we're going to put the immersion blender in here and blend the peaches up some, and so that should thicken it a little. And then we'll see if it needs to thicken anymore. I like the idea of being able to see some peach in here still, but I do want to make sure we don't have any big pieces of peach. I don't know, y'all. I feel like doing that, it does look pretty close to the consistency of a really thin commercial barbecue sauce. So I think we're ready to can this up. Oh, there's a whole peach. Maybe I'll just chop it up a little. Mom, do you want to come look at this? You know, like a thin commercial barbecue sauce.
It looks good to me.
Okay. We are about to can up our peach salsa. It goes in 1/2 pint jars, and we're going to leave 1/2 inch of headspace. We're going to fill our jars somewhere we normally wouldn't. And I don't know how good of a view I'll be able to get for you guys, but I wanted to show you what my kitchen looks like at the moment and why we're filling jars where we're filling them. So roaster, mom's over here carving turkey and filling jars. Carcasses we're going to turn into broth. Sloppy Joes I canned earlier. More carcasses over there. Basically, it's just kind of a disaster zone. Got our pressure canner here for doing the turkey. Water bath. And this is where we're going to do our peach salsa. Not salsa. What is it? Barbecue sauce. Let's do this. I did taste the barbecue sauce. It's really good. It's a little bit different than anything I've ever had before, but it's good. The person who recommended it said that they like to eat it with chicken strips, and I think that would be delicious. Let's see. Right on. Wipe the rim of our jar down. Get a lid on there. And a ring. Easy peasy. We'll just do the rest of our pot of barbecue sauce. Got a bunch of our peach barbecue sauce canned up. We still have all of that needs to be put in jars, but we have got a full canner load. So I am going to get this lid on here and we're going to let this come to a full rolling boil. And then this calls for canning for 25 minutes. So you guys, it is actually the next day. It's around lunchtime actually. And we ended up getting 18 half pints of the peach barbecue sauce. There's a little bit left over that I put in the fridge. And so it's actually lunchtime. So I'm going to cook up some chicken fingers. These are the Real Good brand if you've ever heard of them. They are grain free. They are cooked in tallow. So they're really good. We are big fans. But I'm going to cook these up because the recommendation I got was that this barbecue sauce was great with chicken fingers. So cook them up and we'll give it a try. All right, you guys, I've got a cooked up chicken finger here and we're going to eat it with some of our barbecue sauce. So look at how nice and thick this got in the fridge. It's a really nice texture. It smells so good. It's vinegary. There is the mustard that comes through because it has the dry mustard in it. You can smell the sweetness of the peaches. Plus, I can tell just smelling it's got some heat from those red pepper flakes. So I'm very excited about this barbecue sauce. Tasting on its own was good, but I'm sure it's going to be really good on our chicken. All right. Thank you for the recommendation of the peach barbecue sauce. I really wanted to try it, and while these circumstances weren't necessarily how I wanted to make it, I'm really glad it was an option that I had there in my head and ready to throw in. And it's excellent on the chicken fingers, so that was a great call too. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, is it the Carolina barbecue sauce that's mustardy and vinegary? It's not exactly like that, obviously, because it's the peaches and it's a bit thicker, but that vinegar and mustard thing is definitely there and it's so good. I would definitely make this again, which is a good thing because I have 18 jars of it. So thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I will link this recipe down below and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.